I was gonna use my computer for notes and then it force updated, and it's been doing that for about 6 hours now, so let's just crank this shit out. In the time that I should have spent reading things for this channel, I was actually mostly watching movies, and I saw some good stuff. Before I get to my top, I think 4 of the year, we're absolutely doing bottom 3 of the year. So in the year of our Lord 2025, the third worst movie released objectively was The Wrong Paris, where Miranda Cosgrove fucks a cowboy. I think I watched the whole thing. The second worst movie of last year was what the fuck's it called? Fear Street Prom Night, or is it Prom Queen? I can't remember. Anyway, this was, if you guys thought Stranger Things was cynical hack shit by the end, no, this is much fucking worse. In terms of like an 80s ripoff with just like spamming the 80s music, this movie thinks that its audience are toddlers, and it's probably right, but my god, the way that they like would pretend that what they were doing was like transgressive or twisty or like unique. I could not stand this shit. It's made for like Disney adults, basically. That's what I thought about it. Disney adults who want to try horror. And for me, filtering through a lot of garbage, there was one movie that stood out as the worst thing I've seen in years, and that was the new Captain America. Oh my goodness. It's hard to say how the industry is embracing the use of generative AI. It's very difficult, and it's potentially defamatory to say that a company is using it. Everything about this movie, where it's like trying to be this conspiracy theory type twisty movie, I was just fucking agape that they even attempted to write something like that, because they clearly don't have any fucking understanding of it. Tim Blake Nelson is in it, my boy, and he plays this diseased looking motherfucker, and he's just awful in it. Anthony Mackie, what is his like charm? Where does he come from? What's his like good stuff? I don't know what he is. He's just this like, he's not even an industry plant. I don't know how he's related to anyone. He's just a plant. All the action is so boring. I remember I saw this movie and I fell asleep during like a 2-minute sequence where they're fighting with planes, and I remember slightly dozing off, and then I went, oh fuck, there's 2 people talking in a room about boring shit again. I'm awake again. Oh. But yeah, going back to my early comment about the similarity of the screenplay to generative AI.
You're the buyer.
Indeed. Hiring Serpent was a necessary step to create a chain of statistical certainties.
Maybe you're not as smart as you think you are.
It's about all I have to say on that. Before we get into my absolute favorites, here are some honorable mentions. I thought these were all pretty good. I really liked a lot of these. There's a couple of other honorable mentions I want to shout out. I watched a Channel 4 documentary about Bonnie Blue, and you know, it was fucking hilarious, and I want to support independent filmmakers, so it can be an honorable mention here. I also watched a movie called Goon of the Lagoon. Have you guys heard of Goon of the Lagoon? Goon of the Lagoon is about a woman who is a goon for a lagoon. As somebody who's done a lot of gooning around open water sources, I found this really appealed to me, and with a lot of these, again, independent films, you know, there's a noticeable lack of quality, you know? They don't have the production design there, they don't necessarily have all the sound work there, and a lot of movies make up for that by just having a lot of empathy or being very interesting, and this movie made up for it by having a goon from a lagoon. No, top 4 movies! At number 4, we have the movie I Swear, which is a true story about a man from Scotland who grew up with Tourette's at a time when it was completely misunderstood, and he worked as an advocate for Tourette's people. This is like, on paper, just like a formulaic biopic that I wouldn't like, and there's just something about it that's so elevated and so wonderful. Maybe it's the performances, they're all amazing, especially this lead guy who doesn't have Tourette's, but in the quiet moments between his very convincing tics, he's just so like emotive and sad, and you can tell he's like so world weary at points. Yeah, just incredible performances, and I just found it really earnest, and man, maybe it's just because it's Scottish people, I don't know, but it's really worth a watch. There's so many scenes that are extremely funny and also just like crushingly sad. Yeah, and it just rides that line perfectly. It's really great, I thought. At number 3, my third favorite movie is One Battle After Another. Everybody's talked about it, I don't want to talk about it. Funny dance scene. At number 2 on my list is a movie I saw at the Sydney Film Festival called The President's Cake. The President's Cake is about a young girl who was chosen in her class to bake the cake that they use for the annual festival for Saddam Hussein's birthday. And she goes into the city to do it, and she needs to find all of her ingredients, and that's pretty much it. And I'm just a real sucker for movies that are a child's viewpoint of an adult's world, because it's so easy to make everything really high stakes through their mind. There's so many scenes in this that are just like kind of shocking because of the setup, and you see something happen, and you're like, oh my god, that's fucking brutal. And then the ending is amazing too. This lead girl is incredible. She's so good. And it's just a really well-structured story. It's kind of like a fable, but it feels very rooted in reality, and the stakes are so clear. And yeah, I just found it really emotional. And there's a lot of scenes that feel very baked into its world. The production design, I thought, was really, really great. And there's a lot of really good sound work, I thought, as well. And there's a lot of scenes that just feel like they feel strange, but feel very realistic. They feel like things that could happen. And then, yeah, like I said, the ending is amazing. It feels like the apocalypse is coming. It's incredible. It's so good. It's short, it's sweet, it's super accessible. It has a great lead performance. I recommend it to absolutely anybody. And my favorite movie of the year is a movie that I think technically came out in 2024, but nobody saw it in that year, and it's just been kicked back for months. But it's a French movie called Suleiman's Story. Suleiman's Story is a movie about a bicycle delivery driver who is an immigrant to France, and the movie follows the days leading up to when he has his interview in the asylum process to decide whether he's allowed to live and become a French citizen, I believe. This movie is similar to The President's Cake in that we get the stakes at the beginning of the movie, and there's just an endpoint that we have to reach, and then everything between that feels very free, but also feels very structured in its own way. There's a lot of scenes in this movie that are built up to very, very subtly just through the machinations of his day, and I think the script of this movie is fucking incredible. Like, it's so well written. There's a scene near the end where the main character is in a stairwell, and the way that he gets to the stairwell is its own kind of signposting, like the way he gets to that point. And then he calls somebody on the phone, I won't say who, and the way he talks to that person is sort of different to the way he's been acting at the beginning of the movie, but you can see through what's happened to him in his day why he would speak to this person like that, and there's just this moment of personal growth in the character that's been signposted so subtly and beautifully. It's an amazingly written movie. I love when filmmaking is like these, ground view perspectives. The sound work in this movie is incredible. A lot's been said about that. A lot of really great editing. There's a lot of great cinematography that's just following him on his bike in the rain, and it looks beautiful. And then you get to the final scene, and spoiler alert, the movie is building up like there's going to be some big reveal of what his story is. Maybe there's going to be some huge unprocessed trauma. And then the movie is smarter than that, and his final monologue is the best thing of the year, and the best acting, and it's just hard-hitting and brutal and amazing. And it's an incredible movie. I love that it's gotten the recognition that it has, even though I feel like it's gone under the radar a little bit. It should be at the Oscars, it should be everywhere. But yeah, this is the best movie of the year, and it's not close. And that's my favorite movies of the year. Let me know in the comments that I'm racist because I didn't have Sinners here. Thank you so much. Goodbye!